Welcome to M-ceal 101. This is a show where I teach you how to make stuff using M-ceal, basically the soul of my every creation. What do I mean by soul of my every creation? Here's an example of a few things made from M-ceal. Well, sorry. I'm hoping that by the end of this show, till I make the last episode, I might be able to teach you guys how to make all stuff like this. A base for a figure that is not a person, could be a mythical creature, an animal, or even a plant, or even a non-living being, and a figure itself, that being Batman, because I love Batman, and because I am Batman. So, let's put these back, and today, I'm going to be teaching you how to sculpt faces, using basic tools, and your M-ceal. Let's get on with it. The things you're going to need is M-ceal, a toothpick, your hands, and some time. Because it's going to take some time to make these if you're just a beginner. Let's get on with it. So, what you're going to do is take your M-ceal, resin base and hardener if you're new at this. So M-ceal is basically clay that is made of two things, resin base and hardener. When mixed together in equal quantities, they form a chemical compound which dries in like 90 minutes at room temperature, because this being the winters, you have to keep it outside in the sun to dry, or just like takes it 4 hours at least to dry. Let's put it near a window. As soon as it gets morning, it's gonna dry up. Just open the M-ceal. Now, to measure the equal quantities, using your hands, make a cube, rough as could be. Try to fine it up a little bit. That's your cube. That's the quantity, and then just smudge it off. Now put your extras to the side, the trash, into the dustbin. There's some dustbin there. It's seriously not easy. And then this is what you're going to basically have. Now the mixing process is really easy as well. Just open it up, just expand it, flatten it out, wrap it around your wrap the base around the hardener, and now just mix it by running it against your hands and that jump cut. Okay, now open your box up like this. Once you mix your M-ceal, open your box up like this. Just rip it off from one side, and then lay it down. That's your base. M-ceal doesn't stick to it, thus it's easily peeled off. Now faces are a few types. For making a basic tiny little model, then take a little bit of M-ceal, put it on a ball to like a little egg kind of shape. Egg. Reverse it using your fingers. Pinch a little point off. Flatten it from the top using the toothpick. Even it from the below, and then continue the process until it looks something like a nose. Now that you have a nose for this is going to be your basic, face for a tiny figure. Now to make the hair, super easy. Just think what your hair needs to look like, spread it into lumps, and then just pat it onto the face. Kind of like this. Should I jump cut? I should jump cut. After doing a few, I'm going to come back. Now I've done the hair, it should look something like this. That's my perspective on this whole thing. Seriously suspended higher than the whole camera set. Then take a little bit of M-ceal, split it into two, and then just, paste it on the sides as ears. The other side, you can do it, but it's basically covered up because of the hair. So yeah. Now, if you're doing a bigger one, as in a Batman-sized one, or an even bigger one, because I've never made a figure bigger than this out of M-ceal. Let me give you an example of one. He's basically this guy. Get it? That's one of my more advanced figures. The one that took me time 2 hours. So, putting this to the side, let's continue making this. This is going to be our head. Just going to split a little bit off extra for other features. Now I'm going to use this, do what I did before. Make an egg shape and try to mold it into, try to get it into the best shape as you can of a head. Closest as you can to a head, and you shall achieve this, something like this. Now, same thing like I did before. Pinch a part off. It's not like this big. You can shorten it by just pressing it back in and lumping it off. Now, just do this. Press it back in. Push it from there. And it takes you some time to actually get a proper face in M-ceal. You have to fiddle with it for a long time. That's when you get that satisfying face. You're like, oh man, that's the face. That guy's got the face. Yeah, that looks good face. Okay. So the nose looks a little too big, so just flatten that in. The best thing is, if you're using M-ceal in winters, then you have an optimal amount of time to work. You have at least 2 hours before it starts hardening. But in summers, you have only 1.5 hours before it starts getting colder and harder. So yeah, do your time as that. Now, that actually looks like a proper head. What I need to do next is put the head over here and using something. What do I use? Let me see. Using a paint bottle as a support for the back thing. Put the M-ceal on it. Now I'm going to use half of this as the hair, and the rest for features that I've not thought of yet. So I'm just gonna. The hair can be as non-complicated as possible or as complicated as possible. Let me just show you an example of an older figure I made from M-ceal. This is less of a figure and more of basically an accessory. Yeah. The paint got all chipped off, but the hair turned out great. The hair is made from a little individual piece of M-ceal. As you can see the detail in that. Yeah, the paint is just chipping out, looks ugly, I know. So, continuing, you can also do details in the face using a toothpick. And like you can see, I'm doing this. So, I just use this. And to make the hair stand up, you're going to use the other bits of M-ceal to support themselves. So like you can see, using a lot of this. And I'm going to do the standing up bit of a few pieces. So like this is standing up. Ouch. And so is this. It's seriously, you need to be seriously careful while placing the hair. Or we can be super careless because it's M-ceal. It can be fixed whenever you want. Now that we've got a little bit of the hair in, do what you did next. Put the ears. The other ear. Please suggest what I should do in the next video of M-ceal 101. If you can suggest, because I'm not getting any comments since a long time. And a seriously long time. I'm not getting any comments. Any. So, now if it's not coming off your finger, use the toothpick to just notch it into place. Something like that. Sorry, then a little off camera. It's basically like Jenga, using one block and support the other. So using one strand of hair, support the other. Now I can't do super complicated ones like Goku's hair because I have tried making a Goku and his hair did not look like Super Saiyan. So just more like there. Now you can't just surround the whole head with hair. That doesn't make it look like, you know, a face. It makes it look super weird. I've tried it. Seriously, don't just believe me. I just stand a few up and make it look natural. You have to work with what you have. That's what I say. Yeah, that's kind of it for this episode of M-ceal 101. Oh yeah, of course, the back hair. Forgot about that. Back hair is basically your markers and paints. Just take a piece and just flatten it out. Just kidding. Not much. Back hair is very easy. Just kidding. So that's it for M-ceal 101 today. The eyes are just markered on. You draw it on with a marker and paint it in later. So this is me, Uday, M-ceal 101. Subscribe, and when you see that little bell in the corner, click that and you'll be notified every time I post the next video. So leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Bye bye. Adios.